No matter where you're from or what century you live in, we all know what loss feels like. It's this universal story, and sooner or later, we all have to live it. And for pretty much all of human history, that story has had a very predictable ending. And a lot of the time, that sound, it's just silence. It's the quiet that's left behind, right? This heavy, profound stillness that just kind of hangs in the air. You can feel it, that empty space where someone is supposed to be. We bury our dead and we walk away because that's just the way it is. It's the unchangeable reality of our world.
I mean, it just feels like a rule of the universe, doesn't it? The undisputed champion. But the Bible records one day, one single moment, when death did something impossible. It gave people back.
It's this little detail tucked away in the Gospel of Matthew. It's just a couple of lines, and honestly, they're so easy to read right past. But they describe an event that just shakes the very foundation of what we think we know about life and death.
So, right at the moment Jesus dies on the cross, something unbelievable happens. There's no big fanfare, no detailed breakdown, just this stark, incredible statement. The dead were raised. And that's the big question, isn't it? Why did this happen at that precise moment? And who exactly were these people who just walked out of their own graves? Well, the text gives us a really important clue.
Matthew calls them saints. And we have to be clear about what that means. We're not talking about angels or some kind of ghosts. No, this means people, real, faithful men and women of Israel who had lived their whole lives and died holding on to a promise they never got to see fulfilled, the hope in a coming Messiah. And now, the very one they had been hoping for was dying just outside the city walls. Okay, so to really get why these graves opened, we have to zoom out and look at what the cross was really all about. It wasn't just a tragic execution. According to the biblical story, it was the final battle in a legal war against death itself. And this is absolutely key. The Bible presents death as way more than just a natural process. It's the wages of sin. It's a legal consequence, the official verdict declared over humanity that's been separated from its source of life. So in a way, every funeral, it just confirmed that verdict. We spend so much time focused on the problems we can see, politics, pain, poverty. But the source text argues that the real issue, the root of it all, was much deeper. It was a spiritual separation from God, and that's what gave death its legal power. And this is what the cross came to deal with directly. So when Jesus died, he wasn't just a passive victim of a Roman execution. No, he was actively walking into death's territory, taking on the full weight of that separation to basically absorb the penalty and shatter death's claim from the inside out. And this is where it gets absolutely mind-blowing. We always think of Sunday, right? Easter Sunday is the victory. But what if the victory was actually declared 2 days earlier? Okay, look at this. At the exact moment, the very instant that Jesus dies, 3 things happen at once. The earth shakes, rocks split, and the tombs break open. This isn't just a coincidence. It's a direct consequence. And this changes everything. It means the cross wasn't just a promise that a resurrection would happen later. No, it triggered one, right then and there. It sent a shockwave through the realm of the dead that was powerful enough to break chains on the spot. So these people, these resurrected saints, they were walking, talking proof that something had fundamentally changed. Can you even imagine being in Jerusalem that day? The whole city is reeling from this dark crucifixion, and then suddenly they start seeing people they buried walking down the street. Fathers, mothers, neighbors, just back. Before anyone preached a single sermon about the resurrection, the city saw it with its own 2 eyes. But this whole incredible event, it wasn't just a one-off miracle. The Bible frames it as something much bigger, kind of like a preview, a trailer for the final act in God's story. So you see the pattern here, right? What happened for a few people in that one city was like a trailer for the main event. It was a glimpse of what's promised for all who are in Christ across the entire earth. It was a powerful sign pointing to an eternal reality, a whisper of a day when every single grave gives up its dead. And that's the takeaway. The cross completely redefined what death is. For those who believe, it turned it from this inescapable, locked prison into a doorway into life, all because the one who holds the keys walked through it himself and broke its power for good. So in the end, the resurrection on Sunday morning, that wasn't the moment the war was won. That was the moment the victory was announced to the world. The war itself, It was won on Friday afternoon, and long before any person knew it, the graves themselves were the first to surrender.